So a deck that's becoming surprisingly cheap is actually Voiceless Voice, because Low really fell off as Voiceless wasn't bringing in the results that people expected it would bring, because compared to the OCG, Voiceless hardly ever was a tier 1 meta threat, because the Snake Eye deck was just way too oppressive, and it still is, now with Fiendsmith, and Voiceless is a deck that can't really abuse the Fiendsmith cards as hard as other decks can. So it became like the top of a rogue tier 2, tier 3-ish contender deck, and really fell off in price, so Low halved, and it's like the only secret rare of the deck. And I think Saphira is at max $2-3 per copy in a playset, so actually quite a cheap deck that can still put up really cool boards. You're not relying on SP, so your side decks also becoming cheaper, and also a Diviner became a lot cheaper since Rarity Collection 2, so I think this is actually a really good budget deck. And I would say let's just head in with a few basic combos, so like 2 1-card combos. Then I'm going to show you another combo that I think is really interesting, and also if you want to see more you can go check out, I think his name was Prophecy Wiz. I found his channel and he's like so far the voiceless guy on YouTube I found. I think he used to play COD and stream it, which I think is hilarious that he's now doing Yu-Gi-Oh content, but you can go check his channel out for like card discussions, etc. I just want to show you some combos, and also he has a really cool 2-card combo that can play around some things, but you will find the link in the description. So let's just start with the normal Low combo. You go normal summon Low, set the barrier of the Voiceless Voice. So this is really nice because unlike the Phantom of Yubel, Low actually plays around Ash, because we just set it, we don't add it. So there's nothing here to Ash. However, you are going to lose to Imperm and other cards, but just for the sake of the combo, let's just pretend we don't get hit with any of those. So we will use the barrier to grab our Saphira, and then we use Saphira to go ahead, dump Ritual Spell and the Skull Guardian. And we use Saphira to use Low for the Skull Guardian, and then go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, because we want to play around Bell. And if we get to this point, we already have played around Ash. So we will add a Soravis, and then we will bring out the Low, and then we can link those two off into the Dynamondo. Going second Dynamondo is also a Unicorn, which is really nice. Because you will just shuffle a Ritual from your deck and a card on the field back, so technically you could use him on your own turn. However, with cards like Mystic Mine no longer being in the game, I don't think this will have any use on your turn. You just want him to be set up for your next turn, because now on your opponent's draw phase you can use Dynamondo to tribute himself and bring back the Skull Guardian, which will not cause his effect but Low's effect to trigger. And then we can use Low again to set the barrier for another additional pop. So as you can see, we have kind of a tower with 4 1k attack. We have the barrier to protect our place, we have Soravis or follow up depending on what you searched, and a pop and an Omni Negate, which is not a lot but it's quite consistent. And you also have some layered interactions with the Ritual Spell in a graveyard. Because if we, for example, get Darkhold, get Red Gekkied, we can just bring out Skull Guardian or any of the other rituals from our hand or deck, ignoring summoning conditions. We will, however, lose access to Low, but we would still end on like a 4.1k beat stick, which still is something, I guess. But just keep in mind that the Ritual Spell actually has an engrave effect, not just an on-board effect. Now, the next combo I'm going to show you will be Diviner. Diviner is just an extended Low combo with a few more bodies, so we will start with Diviner. Diviner dump Trias, Trias effect. By the way, Trias is a quick effect, so if it would come up later on because she got milled by a zombie vampire, for example, and then you start with Diviner, keep in mind you could actually protect the Diviner and just bring out Trias and dump a Herald of the Arclight, for example, and start playing from there on out. Just keep that in mind. Bring out Trias, Diviner will trigger, bring out low effect, bring out barrier effect, search for the Saphira, and then we can use the Saphira to dump her and ritual spell for Skull Guardian. Then we can use Saphira, banish the Trias to bring out Skull Guardian, so this plays a bit safer than keeping Trias on board and tributing low, because in the short time frame where low is in grave and Skull Guardian plus Trias are on board, the negate will not be live. So to ensure that we get the search, I would always tribute the Trias Lyrakia. And then we can use the effect, grab out Soravis, and then go for Dynamondo. You don't have to go for Dynamondo because it plays harder into Nip than the normal Dynamondo line, but it's still a possibility to like further harden your board. Then we can just use Dynamondo again, then just low, and then low place the trap red. And now for the final combo, it's a 2-card combo of Saphira and Diviner that can actually play around Droll quite decently, which you would not expect from a ritual deck, because all the other 1-card combos suffered from one fatal issue, that a Droll absolutely kills you, and just a Droll on its own. But this combo is actually good at playing around it. You can start with Diviner, dump Trias, then bring out a low effect, bring out a barrier. Now here we have a few options. We can go for an IP play. However, if we now go for Saphira and add the Skull Guardian, and now we get Droll, this will render us useless, because we don't have anything to like tribute for the Skull Guardian. So we can flip a coin and what we can do instead is it's just a sequencing thing, but I think you should be aware of it. We start off with the Saphira first, dump ritual spell, grab out Skull Guardian, and if we don't get hit by Droll now, then we can use the barrier, because we still haven't searched yet, for the Soravis. And now we can go for the IP play and then use the Saphira to dump Soravis and bring out Skull Guardian, and then Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Grab another Soravis, for example, or a Pendulum Graph, depending on your build. And then we can bring out low. And now we can link these two into the Dynamondo, so we end on IP Dynamondo. And then during our opponent's draw phase again, bring out Skull Guardian, effect low, special low effect, set a trap. So now we can also play around Droplet kind of decently, because if our opponent goes Droplet on these two, for example, and doesn't send a trap, we can just go effect trap, pop the Droplet, and then we can go IP and make an Appaloosa, for example. So if our opponent goes normal summon Snake Ash, we go Skull Guardian, they go Droplet, we can just go effect Radiance, and then we can chain IP. So the Skull Guardian will resolve and we will end up with an Appo on board and still the Soravis, for example. And that's it. If you want to see more combos or want me to lab out more of the lines, then feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Something else, leave a like, and I will see you in the next video. Maybe get in some Either Pro replays, who knows. So yeah, see you next time.